Twitch just got exposed, and it's so bad. Interesting, but here, hey. I saw VTubers on the thumbnail, so I'm assuming this is about the tubers. The VTubers. We'll see what this is about. I am infinitely curious. I've heard some things, apparently, that some things were going on Twitch. I don't know, what exactly was happening at TwitchCon, specifically for VTubers, but I've seen some complaints, so yeah, let's see.
As if the TwitchCon disaster with Emiru wasn't already bad enough.
I mean, how could it not be bad? I mean, he essentially told her that she's at fault.
As well as Dan Clancy's absurd damage control. Well, now we're getting even more reports about how terrible the event's been, as that takes us to Iron Mouse, who says, I deeply apologize to all the VTubers and the fans who had meet and greets at the VTuber booth this year. It breaks my heart to know staff threw out all the gifts. I should have known better than to trust.
What the fuck? They threw out all the gifts? They threw out all the gifts? That's horrible.
Them and taking care of everything ahead of time. I'm so sorry, everyone. One of the top responses here to Mouse from Buff Pup reads,
yeah, guys, I'd genuinely crash out if my stuff was thrown away. I'd genuinely crash out. Like, I'd go crazy. I'd go ham. I'd go, bro.
And also mentions Iron Mouse helping out, saying, girl, it's not your fault. It's clear as day that they don't know anything about VTubers or care about safety, even when people express months beforehand. When I asked to have a meet and greet for Rose on the screen, they said they had no idea how to do it, and you came in and helped, so I don't want to hear you blaming yourself. I love and appreciate you more than ever, and I'm sorry your experience with trying to help friends was super soured by Twitch literally not caring, as usual. So they're not running the meet and greets properly, they're throwing gifts away, their security is a complete
yeah, surprised. I'm not surprised. Again, I'm not surprised.
Mess. I got more to say about all that, but first let's keep going, because it still gets worse. As we've got Henya the Genius, and she posts,
that seems to be a recent trend. That seems to be a recent trend. It always gets worse.
Unfortunately, due to a miscommunication or misunderstanding, any gifts or presents given to my meet and greet staff were disposed of by the venue staff. I'm very sorry for anyone who gave me a gift IO. I'm not so sure it was a miscommunication or a misunderstanding or an accident even, but like I said, I'll talk.
They just didn't care. They probably just didn't care.
More about that once we keep getting some more context. As we've also got Canine Kuro saying, unfortunately, if you gave me a TwitchCon gift, the event lost them all. I still really appreciate the intended gifts though.
Lost.
A response here from Maya says, they threw a gift meant for Chibidoki into the trash bin. And that takes us to Chibidoki, where she says, can anyone else from my meet and greet vouch for this? Nags and I were told to stop. I'm so incredibly sad if this is true. I was genuinely so excited to meet everyone. They told us we had to end for safety. And that takes us to Chibidoki's experience, because not only did she have gifts thrown away, but they also gave her the complete runaround and cut her event short, citing safety concerns. Isn't that
safety concerns. Now, isn't that funny? How about, did you not have, interesting that you didn't have those for Emiru. Interesting. Fuck Twitch. Every single time. Fuck Twitch. I don't know how often I have to say this. Fuck Twitch. There's a reason I don't stream on that platform. Ugh.
ironic? As Chibidoki says, sorry for the wait.
Speaking on, you should like and subscribe. I appreciate it. I'm live daily, so yeah, you can catch me daily. Appreciate it. Anyways, see, I find, like, if somebody threw away gifts, is there another way to sue them? Like, if they just collectively sue them, is there not a way?
Chat, not having the best experience right now, just ugh. The staff have been lovely for the most part, but they wouldn't let me enter and told me to walk all the way to the help desk to get permission to enter my meet and greet, because their wristband they gave me doesn't work. I also had to show my face. It was very scary for me, but I understand why. Bruh, imagine not even being allowed.
Forced to dox herself, essentially. Wow.
Allowed to enter your own meet and greet. And it sounds like this was because of a mistake they made with the wristband they gave her or something. So then she had to go like walk around all the way back to the help desk, get that swapped out or whatever. And by that point in time, you know, the whole meet and greet has probably been delayed. That certainly cuts into the time of the meet and greet, which means she has less time to actually hold the event because of their mistakes. And it actually still gets worse from here, because Chibi then responds and says, they also cut us short and we didn't get to meet everyone. I'm so sorry. If you see me around the convention, please feel free to say hi. And this dude Robrano says, wait, they cut you guys short? When I asked the staff, they said it was y'all who cut it short. I can't believe they try and shift the blame onto you guys.
They lied? They lied. Bro, that's crazy. That is crazy. Yeah, Twitch is just one ginormous clown fest. What clowns, chat? Absolute and utter clowns. Just clowns. Just real fucking clowns. Absolutely. How do you get to... Oh my god, these people are horrible.
Guys, Chibi says, what? No. We always meet every person. Last year we stayed for 3 hours. I think the line was too long, and for safety, they didn't want us staying. He says, oh, that's sad. A lot of us had to leave because they told us the line was cut because of your voice issues. I think that's what it says. ID sues, I think it's issues. And that typically, they move folk to a different meet and greet area, but due to health conditions, it was just cut off. Chibi says, what? But I never told any staff of my voice problems. I didn't even talk to any staff near my booth, only at the entrance. And he says at 3:30, they said the line was cut off and that while most creators typically go to a separate meet and greet area to meet overflow fans, due to the quote-unquote circumstances, we all had to leave. And Chibi says, I don't think that's referring to me being sick. I think they're referring to the really bad stuff that happened yesterday. Then he says, the stuff that happened yesterday was horrible, but they specifically said that if a creator wanted to meet everyone in the line, then they'd move to a separate area. However, all of us were told to leave because you weren't feeling well and couldn't meet with more people.
They just straight up lied. These lying fuckers. Oh goodness. Oh, liars. So many liars.
Brano then added, I even asked the line capper if there was anything I could do after being told that everyone had to go, and he just said, leave. Oh yeah, you can leave. Bruh. Chibi would then post about the conversation that we just read between her and Robrano, saying, can anyone else from my meet and greet vouch for this? Nags and I were told to stop. I'm so incredibly sad if this is true. I was genuinely so excited to meet everyone. They told us that we had to in for safety. I never even told any staff I'm sick. I'm so confused. I showed up and asked if I could wait for Nags before going out. That's the only time staff talked to me in the meet and greet area before telling us to cut the line short. I'm so sorry if this is true. Which takes us to this response. TwitchCon staff is all over the place on miscommunication between attendees and streamers. A friend.
This entire convention is an absolute and utter disaster. Emiru gets assaulted. Nothing happens. The dude gets first banned for 30 days and then perma-banned. And then caught just hours later. Dan Clancy blames it on Emiru. Also, they fuck over VTubers, which is not technically nothing surprising. It feels like they love to do that. I mean, they do it on Twitch itself as well, but in general, they love to do that.
A friend of mine was given so much incorrect information, being originally told she could join your line after a separate meet and greet at the same time, but then removed entirely from the meet and greet area. She had a small gift bag of things in a clear bag she wanted to give you. Well, I mean, they'd probably throw it out anyways, but, you know, I'm making a joke, it still sucks, but, like, I'm not joking either. Like, they probably would throw it out, as we know. She asked security if they could give it to you. They said yes. Oh my gosh. They said yes, then proceeded to toss it into a nearby trash bin. She confronted them about it. They told her it was a security risk and could have held an explosive. Dude, that's freaking crazy. So they say that they'll give the gift to Chibi. And then as soon as they get the gift, they turn to the trash bin and just dump it in there. And, like, it's not okay to do that at all, right? But you would think if they're going to be scumbags like this, that they would at least wait until the guests left and were, like, out of view so they didn't, like, see that. But it sounds like they did it right in front of them. Like, they did not even care at all. Oh yeah, we'll give it to her, and then instantly tosses it in the trash. Actually insane. And this whole thing about this, like, random security that she gave the gift to try and, like, give the Chibidoki, and them lying about that, saying that they'll do it, and then turning around and throwing the gift away, saying it could be an explosive.
Yeah, wow. The explosive. Yeah, but not. But, see, that's, like, the crazy part. I remember a while back, maybe 10 years ago, stuff like the fears of explosives was never an issue. Never a concern. Suddenly it is? Like, things change that were that deranged, where suddenly it is. Like, yeah, no, I don't believe you. Just didn't want to store the gifts, I think.
That sounds completely unreasonable. You see, these conventions have the initial security checkpoint, and the protocol is those people decide who can come in and who can't come in, and if they need to dispose of anything before they're allowed in. So at this point in time, these guests were allowed in, meaning the initial security checkpoint.
Yeah, the initial security checkpoint. In this case, they can't even do that, so it's not even a good excuse. I think they just didn't care about the gifts and just threw them away.
Was totally fine with that gift being brought in. And then there's the obvious point about, yeah, them just throwing what they think is an alleged explosive into a nearby trash bin and leaving it at that is also ridiculous.
Yeah, because it could still, it could still explode. And what then?
That wouldn't do anything to stop the alleged explosive if they really thought that's what it was. Which, I mean, in my opinion, based off what I just read, I don't think they actually thought that. I think these people are just scumbags, and they were happy to throw someone's gift away. And
also, they were just essentially, that was probably just used as an excuse to not be as much of a dick, but they still are dicks. Yeah, I hope, I mean, there will be another Twitch, let's be honest, there will be another TwitchCon, because the content creators are too scared to move away.
As we know from the other anecdotes that we've been reading, this was not a one-time thing. This has been a recurring theme throughout TwitchCon, with staffers, whether security or other staff, throwing gifts away. And there's a bit more to read about all of this, but I suppose while I'm making this long-winded commentary section now, I mean, you know, comparatively to the rest of the video so far, I'll mention my opinion some more, real quick. So we already know that some creeper went after Emiru, and in large part, you can argue that Twitch not allowing her to have her favorite security guard, banning that dude, and seeming to limit what the security that she did bring was able to do is something that enabled this creeper to do what he did. But regarding the rest of this...
Yeah. Essentially. You could say that, yeah. Because why it just does not make sense why you would ban somebody else's security guard.
Specifically, like this issue of meet and greets being ruined, guests being lied to, and gifts being thrown away. It seems like this has all been disproportionately affecting VTubers specifically. And this seems a bit...
Seems weird. Seems like this is a common theme. This is a common theme on the platform. At this point, it's a pattern, if you will. Pattern recognition. VTubers are fucked on this platform. They hate VTubers. You cannot tell me that they don't.
A bit too coincidental. Especially because similar things occur on the platform itself, on Twitch.tv itself. For example, they'll give a VTuber like a 2-week ban saying that VTuber's too provocative, but then they'll have literal cam girls doing infinitely more provocative things, and they're totally fine with that. There's no repercussions for them at all. If anything, Twitch actually promotes that sort of stuff. So Twitch has a...
Because Dan Clancy can't goon to them. Anyways.
Documented history of having a bias against VTubers. And it's really weird and it sounds dumb saying that. I don't know like why Twitch is this weird of a platform, but this is something that is well documented at this point in time as mentioned. So I don't get it.
Though, to be fair, some VTubers do in fact exploit this. Like, the hand cam right over, like, your cleavage. Really? Really? Like, let's not be fooled. Some VTubers exploit this and be like, oh, why did I get banned? Why did I get banned? Well, you actively go against the TOS either, so, you're not, right? We have to separate the good from the bad. However, I agree, Twitch certainly has an issue with VTubers when it's completely pointless. Like, right, the VTuber hips. Oh no, VTuber hips. Yeah, but one chick can sit on a glass chair with the camera up her coochie. Wow, congratulations.
But they're just weird and petty like that. And it seems like that's not exclusive to the platform itself. Even at a live in-person event, they're doing similar stuff and treating VTubers this way too. I suppose that's all to say that this consistent bizarre behavior from Twitch is too coincidental. It seems more likely and more reasonable to conclude that this is actually not an accident and it is on some level intentional. Okay, so we left off here. We read this paragraph about how the security threw the gift away, saying, oh, it's...
Twitch is one big bully to VTubers.
an explosive, so let's put it in this trash can in the hallway or whatever it was nearby, because that's totally going to stop an explosive. Yeah, And so then the user says, we were told we could join the line again by one staffer, only for security to tell us that it was capped. We don't blame any of this on you. Staff clearly doesn't know what it's doing. Chibi responds by saying, I'm gonna cry, I'm so sorry. And then she went on to add, thank you everyone for the kind comments. I've been really heartbroken about everything, but I don't want the focus to be on me when much worse things happen to others. I'm sorry if it seems like
it's like the VTubers then don't have to apologize. Like, it's not the VTubers' fault, right? I don't see why all these ladies are apologizing. I don't see it. Why do you apologize? It's Twitch's fault, not yours. Stop. Stop apologizing. Call out the platform you stream on. Straight up.
Like, I'm trying to take away from that. I just wanted to meet you guys. So yeah, in closing, this situation sucks. I feel really bad for the VTubers. I feel really bad for the viewers. Like, I can't imagine a viewer getting a gift, being so excited to give that gift to the streamer, and then you find out that not only did they not get the gift, but it was thrown away. Some people are speculating too that some of these gifts might not have actually been thrown away, but that Twitch staff actually took them, although of course that is just speculation.
Would it be that unreasonable? See, you throw them in the trash. But did you actually throw them in the trash? Remember that Crunchyroll did the same thing a while back, where they also took gifts that were given to the voice actors.
But either way, whether stolen or thrown away, this whole thing should have never ended up like this, obviously. I think it's very likely that what happened to the gifts is probably somewhere in the middle. A lot of them were probably thrown away, and I wouldn't be surprised if there was some opportunistic staffers who thought, yeah, I'm going to see if I can, like, stuff this in my backpack or whatever, you know? So some of it probably did get stolen, in my opinion. That seems highly likely.
Who says they didn't just, like, get them after it, right? You could still fish them out of the trash, essentially. That's not a big deal.
I'm not saying that's a fact, though, obviously. And then there's the whole thing with meet and greets, people given the runaround with that, saying, oh, yeah, you can go, and then saying, oh, you can't go, getting pulled out of the line or whatever. And then from Emiru's testimony the other day, we know that, according to her, some of the staffers at Twitch were literally laughing about what happened to Emiru. So yeah, a complete mess of an event, to say the least. Let me know what you guys think about all that in the comments. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate you guys.
Yep, this thing is a disaster. This whole thing is a disaster. It just continues to be an issue because it just continues. It just continues to be a problem for VTubers. The platform actively dislikes VTubers, and you cannot prove it otherwise to me. They 100% dislike VTubers, with people getting banned for nonsense reason. I remember a VTuber getting banned for literally nothing. Like, literally just I remember a VTuber getting banned before even streaming on Twitch. Preemptive strike, if you will. But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. This platform hates VTubers. There's no doubt about it. And I'm not gonna... There's no way you can deny that. Anyways, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.